Welcome to the selfgrowth.com show. My name is David Riklan, and I'm the founder of selfgrowth.com. Today, we'll be discussing how mindset can crush your chances for love. To help us understand this topic, I'm excited to interview Ronnie and Ryan. Make sure to listen closely. We're going to be sharing a lot of information today. Before we get started, I want to take a couple of minutes and share some information about Ronnie. It's Ronnie and Ryan. She's an international love and dating coach who has helped smart, successful single women who have hot careers but a chilly love life find love for 18 years. She came to this work through her own quest for love, dating 30 men in 15 months to meet the man she's been happily married to for years. Love that story. The author of 4 books, her Amazon bestseller, Is He the One? Find Mr. Right by Spotting Mr. Wrong, sold more than 13,000 copies. She's a certified coach, Reiki master, and energy healer, and has been a student and teacher of metaphysical topics for 30 years. Ronnie's been featured a lot of places: ABC, NBC, Fox News, BBC, NPR, MSN, Huffington Post, Fox News Magazine, Yahoo.com, and eHarmony, among others. You can visit her website and download her free book, 7 Dire Dating Mistakes That Keep You Single. And I'm going to ask everybody just to jot down her website, and then we're going to bring her on. Her website is never too late, never, and two is TOO, nevertoolate.biz. So nevertoolate.biz. Make sure to jot that down. You're going to want to download her free ebook. At this point, I want to welcome you. Ronnie, welcome to our show.
Thank you, David. I'm so excited to be here.
Me too. A lot of good information I want to share today. So let's jump in. We're talking about love mindset. What do you mean by love mindset?
Well, the love mindset in particular is, how do you feel about love? And from many different angles. How do you feel about dating? How do you feel about men? How do you feel about your chances for love? And does love last? And all that kind of stuff. All of the attitudes that go into how you feel about love.
Okay, I get it. So that makes sense. So love mindset, and obviously it's an important thing. So we're going to delve into it.
Very good.
Because it's really everything about how you're thinking. What are your attitudes about love? So that's going to impact you. Why do you feel mindset so important?
Well, it really does color everything in your life. So if your mindset or attitude or belief system is that love is really hard to find, then you're kind of setting yourself up for that. And the human condition is we always want to be right. So we look for evidence that supports whatever our belief system is. So if you think finding love is impossible, you're going to look for evidence and find evidence that means it's impossible to find love. That's why I work to help people create a positive mind love set so that you can start to go down that path and get better results.
Okay, that makes sense. And I've been there in certain situations with myself where you try to create an environment that's going to fit what your mindset is. So if you believe something or don't believe something, and sometimes people self-sabotage and things along those lines, and they're not even aware of it. And it's a matter of they're trying to match their mindset with the external world. So you also mentioned something about a love vibration. Tell us more about that. What do you mean by that?
Okay. So, the quantum mechanics and physicists have all talked about how energy, everything is energy, and your emotions are absolutely energy. So when you have bad feelings about love, you're sending out bad love vibes. When you have good feelings about love, you're sending out good love vibes. So my goal is to help you have a positive love mindset, and therefore you'll have good love vibes. You'll be sending out good love, good energy, good feelings into the universe, and that's often what gets reflected back to you. So it all really works together. It's just so important for like the baseline results to get yourself lined up. A lot of times people want to find love, but they're not lined up. Like their desire is for love, but they don't believe it's possible, or they don't take actions to help them find it or whatever. You need things all lined up. You want the desire, and then you want the beliefs, and you want the actions. And when things are lined up, that's when the magic starts to happen.
All right. Now, some of this is aligned with something that a lot of people have talked about for years, the law of attraction. How does this idea fit with the law of attraction?
All right, so that's a great question. You know, the law of attraction is kind of that fundamental idea that like attracts like. So, as we're talking about having a positive love mindset, having a positive love vibration, then that means you're putting yourself in that place of energy
Mm-hmm.
where you can attract what you want, which is love. So, when you are loving, when you live a more loving life, when you are focused on the positive aspects of finding love and that you can and feel optimistic, you automatically are more attractive to that and attract even
Mm-hmm.
higher quality people who also have a higher love vibration. And that's where people connect with, you know, the kind of prospects where if they're really looking for lasting love, this is the way to go because you're going to get different quality people as you improve your love mindset.
All right. So a lot of this makes sense. And obviously, you've been working with people for a long time. Are you finding this really works?
You know, this is the most basic fundamental piece of information and how you put things together. And, you know, a lot of times people come to me and they say, listen, I don't need any of that mindset. And I don't need any, all I need to know is like, where do I find the men?
Right.
And so then I kind of laugh to myself and I say, you know, I know it seems like you just need to know where the men are and you'll be fine. But the truth is that men, you know, are everywhere. So it's not like they're in one special high-end, you know, night spot with a big
Right.
neon pink arrow going, good quality men, right, located right here. It's not going to happen. So when you just want to know where the men are, chances are you're not in a positive love mindset because it is so amazing when my clients do this work. And it can be play too. It can be
Mm-hmm.
fun. It actually becomes more and more fun as you get more positive. They naturally run into people and they run into prospects. And, you know, one woman met her husband in a dog park, and
Right.
another woman met her husband picking over sheets at Bed Bath and Beyond. And, you know, you might be online looking for love that way, but you might meet him anywhere because good prospects, good men, they're really everywhere if you're of the mindset to be open to them and see them and notice them and be approachable to them. So that's why it's the foundation of everything. And actually the truth is all love starts with self-love, which people are probably tired of hearing.
Right.
But when
Right.
you feel good about yourself, you're that much more magnetic as well.
All right. Yeah. I've been talking about that for years. And one of the
Right.
challenges is people just have or they're starting with a negative mindset. So for people who are starting with a negative mindset, not only it could be about themselves, it could be about dating opportunities. How do you turn around a negative or a less than optimistic mindset?
Well, first you have to recognize what you're thinking. What's going on in your mind? What do you take for granted? I call that like the operating system. You know, what
Mhm.
OS system are you using?
Okay.
You know, because you might not even be aware. And I've had plenty of occasions when people have had to point out my mindset was limited on whatever it is I was trying to do or manifest or whatever. So first things first is to create an awareness of what are you thinking?
Hmm.
Are you negatively bent? Are you positively focused? What's going on? Once you notice that I could be a little more positive or optimistic, then we can start working on eradicating those beliefs that are getting in the way, challenging them to see, you know, where did they come from? Like I was just working with a woman recently and she really hated the idea of dating. Hated it, hated it. She's been married
Right.
but now she's divorced. She needs to go out again. And I said, well, let's look at where this came from. And the most amazing thing was we discovered it was from a dance when she was 13.
Really?
And all the boys were on one side of the gym and all the girls were on the other side of the gym. And they had the boys go and pick a girl to dance. And she was horrified that maybe nobody would pick her. And all of the trauma that happens to a poor 13-year-old girl
Right.
in her first party dress or whatever, you know, you can only imagine. So once we found out where this was coming from, then we had a chance to work on it. And so she could talk to her 13-year-old and say,
Hmm.
don't worry, I'm here with you. We came up with some affirmations and we challenged those beliefs to see where the possibilities do exist. Because no generalization is actually accurate, right? So if you think they're all the good men are taken, it's
Right.
statistically impossible.
Hmm.
So I use math, believe it or not, to challenge a
Okay.
lot of the belief systems because things are not statistically possible. All men are not taken. All the good
Right.
ones, no. Some still have to be single.
That makes
So
sense.
that's how I work with the situations.
All right. So obviously, first step is identify what those are, what are the causes,
Yeah,
and awareness just in general for self-improvement, any kind of change, awareness is always a very good starting point. Can you share with us a couple of ways, one or two ways to shift? So you figured out this awareness, you're aware of the negativity. Can you share a couple of ways to shift to a more positive outlook?
sure. So affirmations are one way, and affirmations. I believe in speaking your affirmations. So an affirmation, in case somebody isn't quite sure what that is a positive statement said in the present tense as if it was true and happening now. So it's kind of like love is on its way, or I'm lovable today,
Right.
something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say the affirmations out loud, it's better than writing them. Some people want to start with writing, and that's fine. But when you say them, you're actually creating a vibration through your vocal cords. So the more time you spend thinking about the positive aspects and saying the positive things about love, I am lovable, I deserve love, love is on its way now, this kind of thing, you're vocalizing it, you're creating a vibration, you're putting that vibration out into the universe, and you're living from that place.
Mm-hmm.
So, my goal is to help you spend more time in the love energy that you want. And with time and practice and repetition, that will start to shift. The more you put into it, the more you shift. So, for example, when I was dating and I was, dating all those guys, I ended up putting my affirmations to music.
Okay.
Not that I'm like a songwriter, please, but I wrote these little chants, and honestly, they made me so happy that it was the first time I was happy thinking about love. Because
Right.
before that, I was 40, I was single, I was miserable. So it was my first shot at feeling like, wow, maybe this is possible. And even if, no matter what happens, singing these songs and saying these affirmations, they make me happy. And when you're in that happy place,
Mm-hmm.
you're definitely more loving and you're of a higher vibration and that kind of thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, that's very powerful. I'm a strong advocate of it, of affirmations, and they go deep inside. The way I see it is they're kind of tapping into your subconscious, but also your conscious mind.
Right.
And back to what you say, it's difficult if you have an inconsistent internal perspective and an external perspective of what's going on, and you need to really bring them together. Is there another one you want to share with us? Another way for a more positive outlook?
Well, I can tell you, I'm also a believer in body work.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you just go and get some Reiki sessions, Reiki is love energy.
Okay.
And that's extremely healing. And sometimes there's tremendous shifts that come from doing different kinds of body work. Another thing that I did when I was looking for love was I had, I think it was called 4 pillars acupuncture. So the acupuncturist only used 4 needles, but he was putting me in a position of flow and openness and whatever. So there's a lot of different things you can do. You could listen to happy music. Anything you
Mm-hmm.
do to put you in a more happy spot. You might, read romance novels or watch romantic movies, anything that would put you into a healthy, happy,
Right.
and optimistic space for love.
Okay. I like it. Sounds good. And it sounds like these are things you work with and have worked with your clients. Do you
Yes,
have any examples of where you've worked with give us some examples? Obviously, you've been doing this a long time, mentioned many years you've been doing this. Can you give us some examples of where you've worked with clients and some of the things that have happened?
sure. I worked with a woman named Patty, and Patty was a widow. She was widowed in her 40s, and then now she was in her 50s. She really wanted to find love again, but she felt like she had the love of her life, and she was never going to find another man that was as
Right.
good a match for her and that kind of
Mm-hmm.
thing. So she was really thinking, this was never going to work. And another thing was she was a little confused about, things are different if you're under 30 or, over 35 or whatever, in terms of the mechanics of dating a little bit. But she didn't understand her the feminine role and how she could um, be charming and not lead just in the very beginning of dating, not make the call, not ask the guy out, all those kind of things, to find a way to be enticing and alluring and that kind of thing. So we worked a lot on that stuff. And one of the days where she was complaining about it wasn't working, she got a text from this guy who she had a date with, and she was a big golfer and he was a big golfer, and she had gotten another text and she's like, oh my God, he just texted me now. And that's the man that she married. So, even sometimes when things look dim and it's not going to happen, you don't know that. And that's why the foundation of getting to that positive aspect is so vital. So I had another client who really hated online dating, was begging me to stop. Please, I don't want to do this. I'm like, I'm not here to make anyone do anything that makes them miserable. I just offer suggestions on what I find works. So anyway, I said, it was a Friday. I'm like, can you just stick with it over the weekend? And then Monday, you want to take a break for a week or whatever, take a break. But there's a lot of activity on the weekend. Can you hang in there? Okay. So that afternoon, the guy that she's now living with contacted her, and she met him over the weekend, and she contacted me the following Monday and went, oh my gosh, you were so right. You never know what's going to happen. I can't believe I met the man of my dreams on a dating app. That's crazy. I hated it and it worked. So, that's the thing. You just don't know where it's going to come from. It could come from anywhere. It could come from somebody you meet by an off chance and they introduce you to somebody. But when you're open and optimistic to the possibilities, so much more is possible. You don't even know where it could come from, and it can actually be fun.
All right. I know you also have a gift for us, another gift. We mentioned it earlier, one of the free things. So can you tell us again, if someone wants one of these free gifts you have, where do they go? What do they do?
Okay, great. I do have a gift that's really focused on what we're talking about today, called 8 Ways to Raise Your Love Vibration. And that's at the same website, never too late.biz/love vibe, LOVEVIBE, love vibe. So you just put your email address in there, and you'll be redirected immediately to hear my audio program on 8 ways to raise your love vibe. And there's a lot of really fun things in there. That's the point. Try to find a way where this can be fun.
I like the concept. Now, a lot of people are hearing some of the things you're talking about, and sometimes they're like, oh, I can't do this, or I can do this. For folks who need help or want to work with you or like to talk to you about some of the things that you do and work with folks, how do they contact you? What's the next step to get in touch with you?
Well, they certainly can call me anytime, especially if they're in the U.S. They can call 203-877-3777, or they can send an email, Ronnie, RONNIE, at nevertoolate.biz. There's also probably a contact form on my site. And if they want to look up different ways to work with me, on my website under dating coaching, there's a tab and there's a drop down menu there. So I do traditional dating coaching, but I also do heart healing and love mindset sessions. It's not as long a process, but it might be just tuning up a particular area or thing. And I even offer feng shui for the bedroom, where you take a video of your apartment, your bedroom, and then I can tell you what the feng shui cures are for, making sure you have the best love attraction and vibe in your bedroom too. So there's lots of different ways to work with me, and I'm excited to help wherever I can.
All right. So just one more time, let's give out the website one more time for people to get in touch with you. It's never too late.biz, and 2 is TOO. So never too late.biz.
Thank you. Yes.
All right. Sounds good. So we're just about out of time over here. Any final words for our audience? We covered a lot of material today. Any final thoughts you want to share for people who are listening?
I want to leave people with this thought that when I woke up on my 40th birthday, I sure as hell did not think I had a chance to find love, because I had no evidence that it was going to work.
Right.
But when you believe and you find a way to believe and love is your destiny, it really can happen. And if you come from that place of believing love is your destiny and it's the only reason why you're here, then everything you do adds up to making that come true. So believe, and it can happen.
All right. I like that message. So, Ronnie, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, David. A pleasure.
You're welcome. A lot of good information. And I recommend people follow up with Ronnie, take a look at what she's doing, check out the free gifts. And I'd like to thank everybody for listening. And I'd like to wish everybody great success in all areas of your life. We'll talk to everybody soon.
Bye.